Hey, it's Julie and welcome to today's video. I'm talking about what is actually selling in today's marketplace online for coaches, healers and service people. So you have probably noticed that the marketplace has changed significantly. And what used to sell pretty easily, high ticket coaching, things like that, there's been a great slowdown and it isn't necessarily selling in the way that it was. So I'm going to talk today about what is actually selling and why it's not about shouting louder. And this is really good news for us HSPs, highly sensitive people, anyone who identifies as an introvert, and healers, people who are more focused on relationships, depth. It's actually our marketplace when we understand what is selling versus what isn't selling, because it has changed. And sadly, a lot of my peers who they're solopreneurs, they've been selling high ticket coaches, they've been coaches often for a number of years, and in 2020, 2021 they were doing really well, earning a good living from their coaching business, and they were able to do launches and sell high ticket, and it just isn't happening for them anymore. A lot of them are struggling to sell high ticket coaching. And so what I have seen and experienced personally, because I also used to sell a lot of high ticket coaching for myself and do launches, I've experienced a shift in the way that I sell my services, and I have pivoted to what the marketplace demanded. So I'm hoping that what I will share with you today will give you some insights and some value into what you can actually do to make sure that you are getting paid, to make sure that you are able to sell in today's marketplace, because there is still a marketplace. People are still buying, people are still in business, or whatever your niche is, but we just have to understand the changes. We have to understand what sells, how to position it, and it's very, very different from how we were trained. So we were trained, a lot of us, in kind of the launching model, live launches, which were and are to a degree still great, but we were taught to post a lot, be really visible, shout louder, inspirational marketing, quite a lot of hype, to be honest, big promises, 10k months in 90 days, all of that stuff. You know what I'm talking about. And you also know that trust is at an all-time low in the marketplace. And so, but it's not just that. That's one part of the conversation, but it's also that what is actually selling, the offers that are actually selling are different. And the way that we position them, what we put in them, and how we share them or promote them is very different too. So by the end of today, it's a short video, you will know what those differences are, and it will give you some insights into why you may not have been selling in the way that you want, and what you can do differently so that you make sure you are selling, you are getting paid. All right, so that's what we're covering today. So give me a little hello in the comments. If you're on replay, I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing your comments and do my best to reply. If you're on YouTube, do go ahead and subscribe and like the video. You will get lots and lots more of this juicy content, so go ahead and do that. All right, let's dive in. So what I have seen and experienced is that high ticket coaching is not selling the way that it used to. Now, it doesn't mean it's not selling at all. There are still coaches who are selling high ticket, and it tends to be the bigger, more established brands, the bigger guys who've been around for ages, they've been building their businesses for years, and they are still selling some high ticket. I have a client who is still selling high ticket-ish through Facebook ads funnel and a sales team, and it's still working. Now, there have been some wobbles, there have been some challenges, but we've got it working. However, it is not a model that I would recommend for the people here. For most of us here, we are more like the solopreneurs, more like have a boutique business, and that's what we want to do. We're not necessarily interested in having a massive sales team or complicated funnels or loads of ads. So what I've seen with my colleagues, and it's a bit heartbreaking, is that they're struggling to sell. You know, they used to be selling like 5K packages, 7K packages, even like 2.5K packages. And now those sales are really few and far between. They're kind of struggling and they don't know what to do. And they're like, well, if I just sell low ticket, I'm not going to be able to make the income that I need to make. And that really isn't the solution anyway. So here's what we need to understand about the marketplace. We know we're in this trust recession. We know that the marketplace has matured and buyer discernment is higher. So people are taking longer to vet you. They want to know that you are trustworthy. What is no longer selling like hotcakes is massive group programs where you pay thousands of pounds to be in it, and then you're one of like 100 people, and you know, it doesn't live up to the promises. They're not selling, and that's a good thing. And even the one-to-one high ticket coaching is massively slowed down. Now you can still have that in your offer suite. And actually, I don't want you to have too many offers. I want you to keep it really simple and just have, you know, probably maximum of 3 offers tops, but, or even 1 if you're starting out. But the place for high ticket coaching, if you do want to do it, is still part of your offers, but it's once people have come into your world, got to know you, probably worked with you in a smaller paid container, and the trust is there and they want to upgrade, they want to up level, maybe they want a longer container, 6 months, a year. This is the place for your high ticket coaching. And you absolutely can and will get some clients like that, especially if you do it the way that I'm going to describe to you today. So that's one thing. But the other thing is there's been a shift in what people are loving to buy, and people are loving more the done with you. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by that. I'll use myself as an example. So whereas before I was selling coaching, and so that would mean if you were a client of mine, you pay several £1,000s to come and work with me, and once a week we'd meet, I'd coach you, and we'd agree actions, and then you would go off and take the actions. It was on you, right? And you'd have some access to me in between sessions. Now, what has shifted is people want even more hand-holding. So I have moved to more like a bit of a consulting type model, whereby I actually do some done with you and I do some done for you. So don't get me wrong, I still have some coaching clients who have straight up coaching and they're happy with that and that's what they want, and we still do that. And they typically have come in through my trust building offer. They've got to know me without having to invest thousands of pounds at the front, at the beginning. And then as that trust has been there and they can see themselves making transitions, transformation, getting results, they have said, hey, I'm ready for some coaching now. Can you give me some one-to-one? Let's sort that out. And some of them have gone on to retainer packages. So that is that side of it. But what I'm selling the most of and brings the bulk of my income is done with you and done for you. So what that means in my business is I have a couple of what I call my high level clients, and I work with them closely. Now we work on, yes, strategy. So there is, I'm like someone they can come and speak to, and we talk about their strategy. I'm like a sounding board. We look at it together. We plan out it together. They make sure it makes sense. And I make sure it makes sense. And then I actually do some tasks with them. So for some of them, they're creating content and then I'm giving them feedback on that content. A lot of the times we're planning that content together, coming up with a marketing plan for them that feels really good. Sometimes I'm actually writing the content for them. And I'm actually going in and doing things in their business with their sales team or for them. So that's where they're done with you, which is that, they're doing stuff and I'm doing stuff and then I'm giving feedback, and they're done for you where I'm actually going in and doing tasks just like consultants often do. They actually go in and they kind of do things with the business's clients. They, interview them, or they train the sales team or whatever, right? And so those are my offers that I have now, that my high ticket clients are on retainer and provide the bulk of my income. And it's selling because people want that high level of support, anything you can do to make their life easier. Because think about it, how many times have we all bought a coaching program, even with a great coach, and we've gone and done the coaching, but we haven't taken action to the level we know we are capable? Who's been there, right? Let me know in the comments. I definitely have, and I'm an action taker, right? But that can happen with coaching, even with the best coaches. So when you get in there with somebody and you hold their hand, whatever that looks like, it might be more access to you. It might be, you'll have to tailor it to your niche, but it might be that you're working on a plan with them and you're actually like writing it together. And then there's a daily check-in where they check in the morning with you and let you know, you get to design your package. Or, if you are a health coach, can you get more hands-on with them? Can you be in there analysing what they're eating, analysing, their activities, their sleep? So people are really wanting to have that depth of relationship. So whereas before as coaches, we were like, yeah, just high level, go and do this and that. And then they were expected to go and do it. Now it's like we're really partnering with the person. Now, of course, they have to pay you at a higher level because they're getting more of you. They're getting your energy, your time, your expertise. But people are loving that feeling of linking arms, partnering together. And it's changed because it's no longer like you are this guru on a pedestal telling them what to do. Now it's more like, let's link arms, let's work together, and let's do this as two human beings, right? Now, this is actually really good news for us that identify as highly sensitive people, introverts, because the market is shifting to what we do very naturally, which is depth of relationship, trust, quality over quantity, and fewer clients, but working in a deeper way and getting paid more, right? So that's the way the marketplace has shifted. So tell me what you're getting from this. What ideas is this sparking in you, right? What could you do that's along these lines? How could you go deeper with some of your clients? Now, I also teach the idea of having a trust building offer where people can come and experience working with you at a much lower investment. So whereas the marketplace used to allow for going straight to high ticket, and so someone would come into your world and very quickly you could take them through a launch, a webinar, and they would buy high ticket. That can still happen, and it's slower and it's rarer. So what I have been doing and loving and enjoying, and so have my people, is having a trust builder where people can pay a smaller amount to come in, experience working with you, usually in a group, right? So it's not too much of your time. But again, we're not talking massive numbers, but we're talking an investment level that is easy for them, where the money is not going to get in the way because they don't know yet. So they get to come and experience and test it out before they take the risk of investing high amounts of money and time with you, right? So rather than like, oh, you have to jump straight into a year-long package at 12K, 5K, whatever. Now they get to kind of dip their toe in, experience it before they make the next step. Now there is a trap here where I've seen people get locked in and they do their trust builder, but they forget to offer the next level service and they end up doing all this stuff in the trust builder and not getting paid properly. That's not what it is. So I want you to hear that. And if you have that tendency to undercharge and overgive, just be careful of this trap. All right. So the trust builder is just that. It's a way for them to come in, experience it. You don't have to give loads and loads of time. We're not trying to give them the farm here. And if you do, it will overwhelm them and it will have the opposite effect. So keep it really simple, right? It can be like one small outcome that they come and do, but you definitely want to have a progression pathway. I recommend having upgrades. So when people are in with my trust builder, they can buy one-to-one coaching sessions, and they get that at a special price because they're in my Turn Browsers into Buyers group. Excuse me, I've had this cold and this cough and my voice is still a bit funny, but so just be aware of that. But other than that, the trust builder is brilliant because it just removes all those barriers of like, oh my God, what if I invest all this money? And so many of us have been burned and then I don't get the result. You know, my trust builder is £59 a month. It probably does need to go up actually, but it's currently £59 a month, cancel anytime. Super low risk, right? Most people here can manage that, right? But again, don't assume that because the price is low that it's just going to be an easy sell. People still need to build that trust with you. The other thing that's great right now is creating relationships with people over time. So networking is good right now. You know, I know it went out of favor for a long time, but it's good because you're connecting with real people, you're building real relationships, and it's one of the fastest ways to do that. You know, people often complain to me that online it's so hard to create relationships and people are blanking them and blah, blah, blah. I get it. This is something we all work through, and I teach you how to overcome that in Turn Browsers into Buyers. And networking is fantastic. Anyway, connection calls, you know, meeting new people, actually connecting with them, not trying to sell them, making relationships, bringing them into your world, giving them value, but on a really kind of high touch, personal level. I have another high level client. She does this so well, right? She is so good at connecting with people. She does various networking and groups that she's in, and then bringing them into her world, inviting them to her lives that she does every week, and then inviting them to a clarity call and they become clients. She's doing it, right? And she is selling properly. Like, I can't remember how much, and I won't say here, but, you know, she is like rocking it over there. So I think that's everything I've got to share with you today. But hopefully this has given you some inkling of what you can sell and how you can sell it. If you need more, I highly recommend connect with me in the DMs, send me a message, let's have a chat. I'm really happy to chat with you. If you want to come join Turn Browsers into Buyers, that is what it's for, to help you figure this out and get going with your offers and selling and bringing clients in. As I've said, super low investment, £59 a month currently. It might have changed by the time you watch this. Cancel anytime. You can ask me about that. The ladies in there are loving it. They support each other. They are amazing. What questions do you have? Because I am happy to expand on this topic. What are you selling? How's it going? How can I help you with this? Because you absolutely can still have a good business that earns really good income for you. But yes, times have changed. So if you're struggling in any way, I went through it too, right? I had a big dip in my business. It aligned with the market changing, but also like some personal circumstances. I'm now firmly back on track and have been for a while. And these are the pivots that I've made. So more than happy to connect with you, answer any questions you've got. I really want you to be earning good money without burning out. You know, it really is a relationship marketing. It's depth marketplace, and I love that. And us highly sensitive people and introverts, this is our time. So lots of love to you. See you next time.